guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get right into today's video. I've been wanting to freestyle a set because I haven't done one in a while. I was thinking about making it long and pretty and pink, so let's just see what we come up with today. Let's dive right into the cuticle prep. I don't have a lot of cuticle to clean up today. I mostly have some leftover gel from my last Polygel nail tutorial, and I need to get rid of it before starting a new set, so I'll be using a needle bit at 7,000 RPM to do so. I'm going gently around the cuticle area once or twice with this bit on reverse and applying slight pressure to the nail plate. After I get rid of most of the gel around the cuticle, I then push back the proximal fold with a cuticle pusher to reveal that sticky cuticle even better. You always want to remove this sticky cuticle because if you leave it on there, it could cause a lot of lifting if not properly removed. I really like this bit to remove the remaining cuticle from the nail plate. This is a ball bit and I'm using it at 6,000 RPM to gently file off any of that excess sticky cuticle. This is definitely one of my favorite bits for cuticle prep, and I'll generally do 1 or 2 passes with this on the nail. Then I'm taking a pair of nippers to gently remove any lifted and dead skin from the nail fold. This is simply for aesthetic purposes to just give like a more cleaner look, but it's not necessary to avoid lifting. This step is optional, but I wanted to clip my nails a little bit shorter. And then file them to make it nice and rounded. Now I'll be using a fine grit buffing block to gently buff the surface of the nail bed to remove the shine. If you're planning on creating a set that will last, I would recommend using a 180 grit sanding band at a speed of 4,000 RPM instead to prep the nail plate. However, I will be removing these nails in a couple of days, so instead I'm gently buffing the nail plate with a buffing block. To cleanse the nails from all the dust and oils, I'm spraying 99% isopropyl alcohol and using a lint-free wipe. I'll be using this peel-off base coat from a cart today and applying 2 coats, curing in between each coat for 60 seconds. Like I said, I'll be removing this set in the next few days, but if you want this set to last, just skip this step and dehydrate and prime the nails instead. We're going for a square nail shape today, so I'm going to size out these half-cover nail tips to fit perfectly on top of my nails. When you're sizing out your nail tips, you always want to make sure that they fit from sidewall to sidewall. However, if you're stuck between 2 sizes, always pick the bigger size and file it to fit your nail bed perfectly. I've got my nail tips here, and I'll be using the same peel-off base coat to glue these on. I wouldn't advise using a nail glue on top of the peel-off base coat just because it doesn't really work that well and it doesn't stick, so flash curing the nails with a base coat just works better in my opinion. Once each tip has been flash cured onto the nail, I'm going to fully cure my nails in the lamp for 60 seconds. Now I'm just going to go ahead and trim these nails. I am planning to keep them long, so I'm not going to trim a lot. My nail tips don't really lay as flat as I'd like them to, so I do have to file the edges to get my desired shape. It just makes all the difference to me. After I'm done shaping, I'm using a 180 grit sanding band at a speed of 6,000 RPM, and I'm going over the tips where it meets my natural nails and carefully blending the tips in to get that seamless blend. And I'm also going to file the length of the tips so that the polygel has a better surface to adhere to. I'm trying to do a moon shape on my nail tips, so I'm just going to use my sanding band to do so, and I am doing this on a little bit of a higher speed at around 10,000 RPM, that way it doesn't get caught. My peel-off base coat is sticky and dusting doesn't remove all the debris from my nails, so it kind of just glues itself on top. So I'm just going to cleanse my nails again with the same 99% isopropyl alcohol I used earlier and using a lint-free wipe to wipe off all the debris. Some of the edges of my tips didn't want to glue all the way down, so I'm just going to nip them off with my nippers. Now that the tips are all prepped, we're going to go ahead and glue some hearts on the nails using base coat. So what I'm doing is I'm adding a thin layer of the Madame Glam base coat to my nails, and with my wax pen, I'm picking up the decals and placing them one by one on my nails in sort of a curving line, going all the way from top to bottom. Then once I'm satisfied with the placement, I'm going to flash cure these decals in place for 30 seconds and do the exact same thing to my pinky and just repeat the steps. Once I'm done both of these nails, I'm then going to cure both of them in the lamp for 60 seconds. After fully curing the nails with the hearts, I'm then going to go ahead and add a second coat of the base coat onto each nail, including the ones with the hearts, and cure all of my nails in the lamp again for 60 seconds. These are the polygels I'll be using today. These are both from a cart. One is in the shade Siesta. It's a gorgeous nude color, and the other one is a clear polygel, which I use mostly to encapsulate nails. I'll have both polygels linked down below, as well as my affiliate discount code, so you guys can save some money if you decide to purchase it. I've got this slip solution from a cart. It's basically just isopropyl alcohol. These nails are quite long, so I'll be using the 2-bead method today, and what I like to do is begin by patting down the first bead onto the nail to lay it flat, sort of dispersing it all over my nail. Then I'm patting the edges in, making sure that the polygel is covering the entire tip, and angling my brush appropriately to the shape. To get a good shape, it's really all just about angling your brush properly and using the right amount of pressure. Then with all the excess gel I will not be using, I'm gonna just swipe it down off of my nail and remove it with the dual-ended portion of my brush. One thing about me is that I don't like to waste my polygel, so I'm adding the excess that I scraped off of my pointer finger onto my pinky, and I'm going to work that in. That way I have a little less to use on this one. And once I'm done applying the gel on both of these nails, I'm going to cure it in the lamp for 60 seconds. The cuticle bead is smaller, so I'm just going to pick it up with the spatula side and place it directly on top of my nail bed. You always want to leave just a little room between the cuticle and the bead, because when you start to pat it down and mold it onto your nail, you'll see that the gel starts moving towards the cuticle, and you're going to want to angle your brush and pat the polygel in gently around the cuticle area. Angling your brush will really maintain the shape that you need, and you really just want to take your time around this area because it's super important for the gel not to touch your skin. I like to swipe a clean brush along the cuticle area just to get rid of any gel that may have overlapped onto my skin before giving it a cure. I'm going to continue doing this to each nail, and I will just fast forward the video. Your polygel may come out sticky after curing. This is totally normal and it's actually called the inhibition layer. To remove it, all you have to do is take some acetone or rubbing alcohol on a lint-free wipe and wipe it off. I'll be using a 100 grit sanding band at 18,000 RPM to file and smooth out any lumps and bumps on the surface of my nails. I'm going in back and forth motion. I've been using this bit for Melody Susie. This is a large barrel top bit, and although it's not really meant to seal the cuticle, I use it to do it anyways because I like how you get super close to the cuticle. However, if you are a beginner, I would highly recommend using a safety bit to seal the cuticles instead because the top of a safety bit is more rounded, so even if you go too far into the cuticle, you won't actually hurt yourself. And when you're working near the cuticle, you always want to lower the speed of your nail drill to around 5,000 to 8,000 RPM max. I personally never like to go any higher than that, and I'll just continue doing this until I see that the polygel is flush with the natural nail. That way when it grows out, I won't have any lip. Using that same large barrel top bit, I'm also going to fix the moon shape a little bit just to make it more crisp. This is a fine grit buffing block and I'm using it to smooth out my nails even better and get rid of all of those scratches that came from filing. Lastly, I'm using a 180 grit hand file to smooth out and straighten out the edges of my nails. Spraying alcohol all over my nails and scrubbing them to remove all the dust and debris from filing. Then using the Koopa Matte Gel Top Coat, I'm adding a thin layer to each nail and curing them for a total of 60 seconds so that I can have a smooth surface to work. All of my pink polishes off camera trying to figure out which color would complement these nails the best, and this is the winner. This polish is called Baby Pink from Madame Glam. Whenever I do long sets, I feel like I need at least 2 or 3 nails to have a deep French on them, so that's exactly what I'm going to do today. This gel is highly pigmented, so I'm only adding 1 coat. And And to make sure the edges of my nails are snatched and not lumpy, I'm drying my brush by removing all the gel polish from it and very gently swiping it on the sides. That way there's no lumps from the gel polish. I also like to cure each fringe individually because personally when I don't, I find myself going back and fixing a nail or it gets bumped into something. So I would cure them for about 60 seconds and then move on to the next nail. I have this acrylic from a cart called Pinky Promise. I don't personally use acrylic that much anymore, but I do use the powder for nail art. I'm very fond of 3D and textured nail designs, and I think they're so cool. So I'm just going to use that same baby pink gel polish from Madame Glam, and I'm using it to paint little baby hearts on my French here. And then what I'll do is I'll pour acrylic all over that design. I like to flash cure it once I apply the acrylic on top, and then give it a full cure, and the result is so pretty. It's like little fuzzy pink hearts. I'm applying more top coat to my thumb and my ring finger because I don't think I want to do a design on them. What I actually want is some charms. I will try to link most of these charms down below as well as the rhinestone glue so it's easily accessible. I do have an Amazon storefront now and I've added so many stuff on there like nail essentials, skincare, and home decor. I have a page dedicated to charms alone, so if anyone wants to browse my Amazon storefront, by all means feel free to. I will have it linked down below in the description box. Don't forget to give your nails a full cure for 60 seconds and then finish off with some cuticle oil of your choice to rehydrate. These are the finished nails and I am so in awe of this design. It's super girly and cute and I think the moon shaped tips just add even more depth and dimension. Pink is one of my favorite colors on earth and this set is giving off modern princess vibes. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel and I will see you guys in my next video.